Hey guys, we're here to talk about custom keychain shapes. So this is a pretty exciting thing. This is the one we've been working towards, and this is the one that will be a pretty big deal. And hopefully, it's the one that you really want, and hopefully the one that we end up printing for you because it's the one you want. We're going to get started today with the first few things we've got to do in this process. And one of the first things we have to do in this process is actually find a picture of something that you want to make. So what I've got here is a Google search. And the reason I've got this Google search open is so that I can show you a couple things. So I'm going to go ahead and search cat, which you can see I've already searched. And this is the search that I get. Now, all these cats are great, but here's the thing that I'm going to warn you. If you choose something like a cat or a dog, fur is incredibly difficult to make. So if you're looking at any of these and thinking this would be a great keychain, I'm going to tell you none of these really would. If you're looking for something like a cat, I would tell you to go cat and then clip art. And these will give you figures that you can use relatively well and do the thing that you want to do with this program, with SketchUp, and make this something that meaningful. So I would tell you, instead of just like a live picture of a cat, I would go for something like this that is a clip art. Same thing with dog or anything else. It's going to be difficult. Anything furry, it's going to be difficult to do without this. I'm actually not going to go in this direction. I'm going to go in a different direction, which is if you remember, if you've played Little Alchemy 2, it's good stuff. But specifically, I'm going to look for one of my favorite combinations in Little Alchemy 2, which is the ninja. So I'm going to click on this picture. It looks really good. Now I'm going to right click and save this image. I need to save this image on my Chromebook so that I can then use it. So I'm going to put it in downloads. You guys, yours will be in downloads also. And I've just gone ahead and saved this picture. Now that I've got a picture and I've saved it, the next couple of things that I need to do are set up my bounders. So I'm going to click on the tape measure tool, click and drag. I'm going to make a 70 and another 70, right? 70 from in each direction is what I'm going to need. I'm leaving the guy in for now because Mr. Kizuka likes him, and there is some reason to do that. I'm also going to do something that's a little bit of a cheat code, I think. I'm going to make a rectangle right over here. And that rectangle is obviously, I should say, it is not going to be part of my keychain, but it's going to help anchor my image when I start moving things around. So I'm going to turn this a little bit so I can look a little bit more top down. And once I'm here, I can see both of these corners. I'm in pretty good shape. I'm going to go to the 3 bars. I'm going to go insert. And then I'm going to my computer, which is where I saved that picture. And then I got to find my picture, and there it is. Click open, and I want to insert that as an image. So I'm clicking image, and there it is. Now, in order to complete this, I need to select a point, which is the origin. And then you can see I can make it all kinds of different sizes. I need to click that other side, which is the intersection in this case. If you have a shape that's not rectangular, you may need to go to this line or this line in order to make it fit in the shape that I have. But for me, I can go right to that intersection, and I've got my image in there pretty well. Now, again, I'm going to realign, and I'm going to get myself pretty much looking straight down at this image. Now, the next step in this process is actually the next steps in this process. So the next thing we need to do here is we need to trace the outside of this figure. Only the outside. Like all this stuff on the inside does not matter at all. I've got to pay attention only to the outside of the image. If you've got an image in there and it's got lots of great internal geometry, you have to ignore that for the beginning. You have to only trace the outside of the image. I'm going to get started on that. I'm going to use the line tool, and that's what you should do as well. I'm going to start right here because it looks like a pretty good spot. You see how I'm able to bring that line straight down. Now, a couple things to be aware of. The green line is fine. That's in the plane that you'll want to be. If your line turns red, that's fine. If you go here and then your line turns purple or pinkish purple, that's fine. All of those lines are within the flat plane of the drawing. But right now you can see how it says on blue axis. You see how my line is blue. If you get any blue lines as you're doing this, that's going to be a problem and it's not going to work, right? So you need to make sure I'm going to zoom in a lot, and I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that I'm tracing the outside of this character as well as possible. You see that purple line there, and there's a little red one. That's all those are fine. That one's green, and this one's red. Again, those are fine. What we've got to watch out for is blue lines. I'm going to continue to trace the outside of this image. And you can see right now, I'm not seeing a line. When you don't see a line, it's probably on the blue axis. So that's trouble. And again, just zooming in, zooming out, moving where I'm looking so that I can get traced all the way around the outside. I'm going to pause this and continue tracing. All right, so I'm still not quite done, but you can see I'm continuing to trace around the outside. And I wanted to make sure that I show you everything's not always going to go great. You're going to have to make some approximations, right? So you may not always be exactly perfectly on the line, but you want to do everything you can to continue to trace all the way around the outside. And see how I'm in blue there? I've got to make an adjustment to get back to a black line. That's real important. And blue again, so I'm going to just move that point a little bit to make it work so that I'm not a blue line. It's real important as you do this that you continue to pay attention for those blue lines. They are not your friend. I'm going to pause again and continue working. All right, so you can see I've got only a couple more lines here, and then I'm going to be all the way back around to the beginning of my drawing. So I'm going to go there, and then look at that. I can connect to the endpoint, and you can see that made a closed figure. Once I've got that closed figure, I'm really done. And again, this took me a little while, and you've got to be careful. If you don't get a closed figure, that means somewhere in there you've got a blue line. There's a couple things you can do to check for that. One of those is you can get your rotate tool out and rotate to look at it from this view. If you see things sticking up or sticking down from there, that's a sign that you've got some blue lines, right? So you can erase those and then figure out where those gaps are and then continue working to get that closed figure. If it doesn't go closed, that is a problem you're going to have to work to resolve. And it has a lot to do with you making sure that you go through all the way around and get all those little lines connected together. So once you're here, you're in great shape. We'll talk about next steps in the next video, but this is the first step, getting your picture in there and getting it traced all the way around the outside. Again, no internal geometry, none of the lines inside, only the outside of the figure. That's really important. Can't say that enough, can't emphasize it enough. It's a big part of you getting to a custom keychain that you're going to love and that we're going to be impressed by. So this is it. This is step one. Hope it went well for you. If you got questions, make sure you ask Mr. Kizuka or me, and we will do everything we can to help you with those. That's it. Good job.